Thank you. So nice to be here to tell you a bit about what Helsinki is doing in trying to get towards being a carbon neutral city. Our city has many goals, and one of them right now is to be the most functional smart city in the world. So we are heading to be the world's best test platform for interesting and profitable smart and clean tech innovations, and to use the best solutions to create successful business activities in Finland that could be also exported abroad. One of our main goals for a couple of years now has been opening different kind of data, very different kind of data, free of charge, and in many different formats. Our city is aiming to be very modern in climate responsibility also. So we have improved our targets so that previously our objective was to be carbon neutral in 2050. But last year, actually a bit earlier already, the goal was changed from 2050 to 2035. The current situation with our emissions, you can see it here. The easy thing to see is that heating is actually creating most of our CO2 emissions. Transport is the second largest, and then there is electricity consumption. There you can see first the emission level in 1990, and then the situation in 2015 when we had already cut 26% of the total emissions. Our city has been growing all the time, so our per capita emissions have decreased even more. They are now, I would say, 42% below the level of 1990. And one of the first things that we had to start was creating a carbon neutral action plan. So to collect all the actions we could find to meet our emission goal action plan, but I chose just this one slide about buildings, where you can see that our target is to reduce almost 600 kilotons of CO2 in 20 years. Here you can see where the city itself is using energy. Around 90% of the electricity used by the city organization is used in the buildings. Most of it in heating, a lot in electricity, and so little in district cooling. Monitoring the energy consumption in our buildings for 40 years now, so that we know how things have been changing. And this is a quite nice example that even if the number of inhabitants has been growing during past 10 years, it's the green line, it's been growing with 13%. Still our energy consumption per capita has been going down, it's the darker blue. So I mentioned that we've been monitoring the energy consumption of city-owned buildings for 40 years. We had a good system for that. It has been serving us really nicely during all these years. But of course it's now really old and it doesn't. But times have changed and really many people are interested in having this data. For example, schools would like to use it in education. Citizens would like to see how city buildings are doing. And there are many kinds of needs for that data. Also today, as all the energy data is in digital form and there are so many meters in the building compared to, like, say, 30 years ago, we are not anymore interested in collecting just the total consumptions, but there are many meters for different systems that we would also like to follow. And we've noticed that we can't actually say so much about energy efficiency when we are just measuring energy consumption. We need to include other kind of information to energy data. So we had a lot of expectations when we started tendering process for a new energy consumption and indoor environment monitoring system last year. And it was a long process, but finally we had 3 companies that we were negotiating with, and in the end Nuuka Solutions was selected as our service provider. What we are trying to achieve with smart energy management of buildings, to streamline the energy management processes between different sectors. Of course, we have been finding energy saving potential until now already, but of course we can always use better tools for that, and in different portfolios, performance against targets. Our building stock is so huge and there are so many changes all the time, and so many of our buildings are being renovated 1 year when their consumptions are of course quite different than compared to some other year, that our reporting has been quite challenging for a long time ago. And in the end, I will just tell you a bit about some other projects we are doing. We've just started a project called Energy-Wise Cities with 6 biggest cities in Finland. And that project is financed by 6 cities programs, and it aims to boost the role of the participating cities towards international example areas of energy efficient housing, zero energy construction, diversified energy systems, energy efficiency monitoring, and end user guidance. So then there is a project that's been already ongoing for a couple of years called My Smart Life. This is an European Union Lighthouse project, started almost exactly 2 years ago. Picture of Helsinki and the zones where our actions are taking place, improving energy efficiency in residential buildings built in 70s, piloting electrical vehicles, using 3D city model, and new high-performance residential buildings in Kalasatama. And then there is Viikki Environment House, which is the only house here owned by the city, where we are doing many kinds of pilots, energy saving, optimization, smart renewable energy storage, demand response, cooling and heating walls. And the last slides are about this open 3D energy and climate atlas. We already have there something like energy labels of certain buildings owned by the city. Then currently there have been calculated energy consumptions for building types of certain era, because naturally we can't get the real energy data of private buildings here. But my understanding is that we are trying to get people and houses interested in joining this platform and to provide their real data so that people could then compare with their neighbors on the same street or something like that. And here is another picture of visualization of heat losses filmed with heat camera. So this is a platform where we can deliver a lot of different sorts of information. It was being piloted already 2 years ago, but now it's been opened in last February. So you can go there and see what kind of data is available. But this was my presentation about things that are going on in Helsinki. If you are interested in hearing more, you can always come and ask questions of me. I will be staying here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Katri. Thank you.